Just show up. When all else fails, just show up. What's going on? Bill DeWeese here, professional voiceover talent and voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer, and author of a couple of voiceover books. Got to get my plug in here for my latest book, Get Paid Using Your Voice, Get Found, Get Heard, Get Hired. This is your roadmap. This is your voiceover roadmap right here. And I've got the digital download for you. It's going to cost you less than $10 for that. It's below in the description. And while you're there, you might want to even pick up the audiobook. How was your weekend? Hopefully it was good. I'm recovering I logged 8 miles yesterday at the state park. I am feeling it today, but I'm feeling it because I haven't stayed as consistent as I should have this summer. I haven't been showing up like I'm supposed to. So these little talks we have in the morning, they're not just for you. Please understand, these are just as much for me as they are for anyone else. But I hope you guys had a great weekend, and hope you've got some good things in store for this week. And I know this topic of showing up is not a new one. I've talked about it at least once before, but it seems like the most important topics deserve to be repeated periodically, because they're the things, I think they're like some fundamental building blocks of success, be it in voiceover or anything else. And I think we have to get those in place, and we have to keep reminding ourselves to do these things, because these building blocks, they're the foundation of anything that we're going to create that's worthwhile. And it's a lesson that I've learned over the years. And I don't know where I was thinking this morning, where did I pick up this idea of just showing up, just being there, even when you don't want to be, even when you feel crappy, even when things aren't going your way. And I think it started with my parents. And then along the way, books I read when I was younger. When I was younger, I was really interested in really expanding the way I thought. And I wanted to equip myself to be able to do the things, that I did. But as I look back over my career, and I started my career, it started with broadcasting, and that was, 45 years ago. And as I look back, and that's not all I've done. I mean, I've taught. I was a professor at a local university here for 14 years, and I've worked in the corporate education space, and was a business consultant, marketing consultant. I've done a number of things, but as I look back over the career, I remember seeing colleagues and friends get frustrated and then jump to another job or quit and say, they couldn't handle working for this particular person, and, or they didn't like the job, and they would move, and then they would not be happy with the next thing they did, and they would move on to the next thing and the next thing. And I'm sure, and maybe we've all been in that situation ourselves at times, and certainly we've seen other people do that. And what tends to happen, people who are serial, I don't want to use the word quitter sounds harsh, because sometimes it is necessary to leave a situation. I totally get that. But when it becomes a habit, and when you do it once, it gets easier to do the second time. But when you see people who hop from job to job to job to job, or the scenario, or maybe it's relationships from one to the next, to the next, to the next, you have to stop and ask yourself, it's at some point, when are you just going to stake your claim, and you're just going to put your foot down and say, this is it, the line in the sand. I'm not moving. Come hell or high water, whether for the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, I'm going to hang in there. And what I found over the years is that amazing things can happen when you just decide to plant yourself someplace. And one of the things that I think that really glued that, and I'm saying this to encourage you with voiceover, because I know it's so easy to become frustrated in building any business. Voiceover is no different. And it's easy to think that it's all about what representation you have, what equipment you have, et cetera. It's what credits you have. It's, we're always, looking for that thing, but it's about hanging in. It's about showing up. But the thing that really, I think, cemented it in my mind, and I've told you guys this before, I sold books it was just a summer. It was like a 3-month job after my freshman year of college for Southwest Books out of Nashville. I sold books door to door, and they're still around today, and they still recruit college kids to do this. Hardest job by far of my life. Hardest job. Knocking on doors by myself, 13 and a half hours a day, 6 days a week. And I remember there are times when I just felt so heavy that I just didn't think I could bear it. I just didn't think I could bear it. And my mantra just became, one more door, and then one more day. And while I saw a lot of people around me drop out and quit, And believe me, I wasn't the most gifted or talented. And I guess it'd make all this easier just to say, well, if you have enough talent, you'll be successful. It's not that. And if you guys have been watching this channel for any length of time or hanging around me for any length of time, that's not the case. I've not always been the most gifted or the most talented, but I have been the most tenacious. And that's been not because I'm a type A driven personality. I mean, I have a drive to succeed at what I do. But if you know me well enough, I'm a pretty chill guy. But what I do is I plant myself and I hang around even when it feels awful and it seems terrible, because what I found is that circumstances are constantly changing and I'm constantly learning and growing. And I can't think of a scenario where that I became involved in and where I hung around that I didn't achieve a certain level of success. And it didn't come fast. I remember, I've mentioned this before. I remember earlier on in my radio career having a station or a program director telling me, this is like months after I just started my career. I'm just like a kid. I'm 21 years old, telling me he wished he hadn't hired me. He just didn't think I had enough talent to do it. Wow. I mean, I was devastated, but I decided to hang with it. And I did. And I became successful. I got promoted quickly up the ranks, and was able to do a good job at the stations I had, get good ratings, do all the things that I needed to do, and had a long, fruitful career there. And that's just one example. What I'm trying to say to you today is, regardless of how frustrated you feel about it, regardless of how bleak it may seem and things aren't working out the way you want, just show up. No, and this has been a thing I tried to teach my kids when they were younger, because I remember back in my days as a college professor, and when I was teaching undergrads, freshman and sophomore, I had a 101 level communication class, and the biggest the the biggest challenge they had was getting to class in the morning. And I remember talking to this kid saying, "Look, just show up." They'd say, "Well, I don't understand. Why am I not passing this class?" Because you didn't show up. You didn't come to class. You didn't do your labs. You didn't do the work. You just didn't do the work. And you can't expect to succeed if you don't show up. So I know you've heard me say it before, and believe me, I will say it again. But just when you don't want to do it, just be there. Just show up. Do the daily grind. Do the stuff. Do your direct marketing. Do your auditions. You just keep doing it every day, even when you don't want to. Learn more, grow more. And the more frustrations that you have, the tougher, more resilient you'll become, which is preparing you for something better down the road. So I wish I could, give you the magic pill that would just make things easy. I mean, gosh, I'd take it myself, but it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So when all else fails, just show up. If you haven't yet, check in on the live chat. Let me know where you're watching and listening from this morning. I'm going to do a little roll call, a little shout out. If you're new to this channel, new to this live stream, we have some traditions. One is Motivational Monday. I try to share something just to help push you a little further down the road toward voiceover success. The other is at the end of every morning video, I literally go through and just give a shout out to everybody on. It's my way of saying thank you. I see you. I appreciate you. And I see when you're here, and I notice when you're not here, when once you become a regular on the channel. So, and I appreciate it when you subscribe, when you like. And by the way, we have 59 people on right now, 25 likes. And last week it was amazing. And I think it was Theo that may have started this particular, said, "Hey, look, we've got X number of people on. Let's get X number of likes." And we did. We did. Everybody liked it. It was amazing. If that became a daily tradition, what would happen is that, again, this is not for my ego gratification. What this does is something very important. It literally tells YouTube that this is a channel that people are interested in seeing. Therefore, it's worth sharing with people who are searching for voiceover information. And if you want people to have access to the same information you do, when you like the video and you subscribe, it helps to tweak the algorithm to get it to more people. So thank you for those likes. I really appreciate it. Hey, Rusty, in the UP of Michigan, what's going on? Rebecca, good morning to you in Michigan. All my Michiganders are showing up this morning. I love it. Rob is checking in from Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's already 90 degrees, but it's a dry heat, Rob, for what that's worth. Nephi, happy Motivational Monday to you in Knoxville. Emily, what's going on in San Antonio? And by the way, we're up to 41 likes right now. 59 on, 41 likes. Ethan says, good morning from Toronto, Ontario. Hey, Ethan. Good morning to you, John, in Rhinebeck, New York. Kathleen. Let's see here. Checking in from sunny Evanston, Wyoming. Patty, how are you doing in Palm Desert, California? Aaron, showing up on this Monday. I love it, from Columbia, Missouri. Mark says, good morning, Bill and all, from California's Central Valley. My main hype man, Theo, is on this morning saying, good morning from muggy, drippy downtown Chicago, where today I'm grateful for the person who invented the roof. That's funny. I'm also glad you survived Lollapalooza. I know there was a massive humanity. I'm watching the news. It was crazy. I heard it got to be a little bit of a public nuisance in the way of just odor downtown. I don't know how true that was. I had somebody tell me that yesterday. John, how are you doing? New day, new week, new month. Absolutely. John in Denver. We've got GS in Longview. Jason in Newport, Oregon. Rusty says, let's make it a record week for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate that. We now have 42 likes, 56 on. Julie in Pennsylvania. Tim checking in from Altoona. Terry, good morning to you in Fallston, Maryland. You can't be successful in anything in life if you do not show up. Exactly. Or if you show up for something different every day. That's a surefire way to not succeed. Just bouncing around. Show up for something different every day or every week. That's not good. Jim in Memphis. Ali, how are you doing? Good evening from my side in Pakistan. Hey, Ali, good to have you on today in Pakistan. Marla in Texas. Jim, did you ever get work on Craigslist? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I have a session later this afternoon with a client. They do a 1 hour session with me every month. They pay me $400 for the session. We've been doing it for years now. And we'll be doing it later this afternoon. So, yep. To answer your question, Jim, absolutely. Wally, a great Motivational Monday to the Blueprint community. Checking in from Annapolis, Maryland. We're up to 46 likes, everybody. 11 more, and we'll have as many likes as we have people on the stream. Emily, weekend was okay. I've got a sprained thumb, sprained foot, and the Rona. Oh, no, Emily, so sorry. Still showing up, though, staying in communication with my clients. I love it. We've got Atlanta checking in. Yeah, the ATL. Bob, what's up in Wadsworth, Ohio? Hey, Joy. Let's see here. Scotty says 2 new book offers on a Monday morning. Time to show up in Brookings, South Dakota. I love it. By the way, we're up to 47 likes, guys. 48 people on, 47 likes. Wayne in Port Orchard, Washington. Paul in Greenup, Kentucky. Tess in Tequila, Georgia. We've got, it's Shelny in Missouri. Hey, Shelny, how are you doing? She says, you are my motivation. Well, thank you for that, and thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Tanya, Covington. I was just in Covington a couple weekends ago. I was there for I have a sister-in-law who had a 50th birthday party. Good times. Kirk, how are you doing in Greenville, South Carolina? Joy says, hello, everyone from cloudy Southfield, Michigan. Corey, happy Monday in Whitehall, Wisconsin. Jeff in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Jeff, hope you're doing well. Jim, my brother did that back in the late 60s, talking about the Southwest Book Company. He did it and survived to tell the tale. Hey, we've got 47 likes, guys. Thank you. Tanya says, good morning, South Philly in the huddle. Yes, big thanks, Coach Bill. Thank you, Tanya. Sandy, good morning, Professor Bill. Hello from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Julie, I always appreciate Motivational Mondays. JR says, good morning from sunny Austin. Happy Motivational Monday. Fred says, hello from rainy Cameroon, Africa. Hey, Fred, thanks for checking in today. John, grow where you're planted. John, that is, those are wise words. Jeff says, besides Fiverr, is it possible to be discovered from other online platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch? It's possible. I would say they're not the most effective. You want to go where your audience is. And so if you're going to show up on these platforms, you got to make sure you're doing the things that the right people see you, not other voiceover people, but people who hire voiceover talent. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bill, for encouraging us and sharing your life experience. Well, thank you. Hey, Tina in Sweden. Sometimes showing up is the hardest part. Tina, yes, it is. And see, okay, this is really important. Not only sometimes, Tina, I would venture to say that always showing up is the hardest part. And you know why people don't succeed? It's because they don't show up. They don't do the hardest part. It's not the talent. It's not, sure, you have to develop all those things, but all those things happen not in a day. They happen with time and showing up and doing the daily grind when it's not fun, when it's not exciting, when it's not glamorous. It's just you and the stuff in front of you that you know you need to get done. So, Tina, you're right. The hardest part, indeed. Jim, talking about his brother, he later went on to sell FedEx, their first three conveyor systems. I tell you, it's fun when you watch the people who go through that. 3 months changed your life. It did for me. It changed the trajectory of my entire life. If nothing else, it toughened me up. It prepared me to hang in, to hang in. When I saw my colleagues and my friends not hang in and drop out and wander through their life trying, from this thing to that thing to the next thing. And sometimes you just got to put your nose to the grindstone. And yeah, you got to, as Kenny Rogers once famously sang, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And sometimes the best thing to do is quit and move to something better. I get that. But the serial jumping from one thing to another will kill your momentum. You'll never make any progress doing that. So just remember, show up today. Show up. Even if you don't want to be there, it will pay dividends for sure. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you tomorrow morning.